Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I'm Elizabeth Omori. We begin with the AU meeting. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed Africa's unity and strength while strongly rejecting the notion of a new Scrabble for Africa. The president, who spoke at the 5th Mid-Year Coordination meeting of the African Union in Nairobi, Kenya, warned that past plundering and exploitation of the continent should remain in the past and never be repeated. Also, in his capacity as the chairman authority of ECOWAS heads of state and government, announced plans to strengthen the ECOWAS standby force to deter coups and combat terrorism in the sub-region. The Nigerian leader highlighted the progress made by ECOWAS in various sectors of its integration process, including trade, free movement of persons, investment promotion, infrastructural development, and security. In other news, about 3,000 Nigerian youths are to benefit from the capacity building program by the National Council for Arts and Culture in collaboration with the People's Republic of China. The Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, Olusegun Runshewe, made this known when he received the Chinese cultural attaché Li Xuda at the Nigerian Culture House in Abuja. The Director General notes that his recent visit to China gave him an opportunity to understudy the secret behind the ingenuity of the Chinese in goods production, stating that there is the need for Nigerian youth to be exposed and trained in such environments to gain the needed skills and knowledge in various areas. It states that the capacity building program, when finalized, will involve selected youth from every state of the Federation and the FCT, who will be sponsored to China by the state governments in Nigeria, including FCT, while the National Council for Arts and Culture will facilitate and coordinate the training of various skills acquisition programs. The Chinese cultural attaché Li Xuda said Nigeria and the People's Republic of China have a strong bilateral and economic relationship, and Nigeria is one of the African countries attracting most investments from China. He assures that the Chinese government will collaborate with Nigeria in areas that will ensure the growth of the Nigerian economy. Cheering news for children and women in Zamfara State, especially those affected by the prevailing security challenges, as the state government strengthens partnership with UNICEF to improve their well-being. This was the crux of an interface between Governor Dauda Lawal and the UNICEF officials at the Government House, Gusau. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
The UNICEF and other United Nations agencies have over the years been investing substantial amount of funds and other resources through partnership with the Zamfara state and local governments, traditional and religious groups to improve the conditions of particularly children and women in the state. With the recent change of leadership in the state, the UNICEF officials were at the Government House Gusau to formally congratulate Governor Dauda Lawal as well as to reassure him of their commitment not only to the sustenance of the partnership but also to re-strengthen it for better impact. Leader of the delegation, Dr. Mariam Said, said last year alone, UNICEF provided more than 2 billion naira financial support to Zamfara State and stressed commitment to do more.
We decide on which are the best projects to implement, and all the time, whatever we bring in is the best of the best in the world when we implement. But we'd really like your support that whatever we bring forward, that you help us scale up, because eventually that is how we'll reach most of the population.
The governor, who assured that the state government will settle all the counterpart funding on UNICEF projects, however stressed the need for the organization to do more in Zamfara for obvious reasons.
Considering Zamfara as one of the poorest states in the country, all the indices are there. In fact, you know better than us. And therefore there is a need to do more.
The UNICEF officials were accompanied on the visit by all heads of its collaborative agencies in Zamfara State. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA.
To climate matters, Akwa Ibom State Government has concluded plans with a German-based energy conservation company for the establishment of an environment-friendly cook stove factory in the state. This is the outcome of interactions between the National Team for Climate Change and the Akwa Ibom State Government held in Oyo. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Issues surrounding climate change and the need for the people to embrace lifestyles that will help in the sustenance of the environment for all creatures, including man, has been on the front burner of major discourse for a while, as government and experts continue to interact in order to find a way forward. This engagement with the Akwa Ibom state government for the establishment of cookstove factory in the state is one of the ways of securing the environment for man and nature.
Clean cooking is one of those that is involved with it, and they have brought it down to Akwa Ibom on behalf of the South.
Coming up with issues such as carbon tax, carbon trading, as well as issues of climate change fund that will galvanize both national and international finance for the implementation of climate change activities in Nigeria, not only at the federal level, but the majority of them to take place at the subnational level, which is the state and communities where majority of the problems are happening.
The governor, in his usual manner of welcoming ideas that will translate into visible dividends of democracy for the people, expressed readiness to work with the company as it in line with his Arise agenda, while announcing that he will be appointing a special advisor on climate change, whose responsibility it will be to supply his government with feedbacks.
Our doors are quite open to work with anyone, group of persons, across political divide, so long as we will bring development to our people. Whatever I have to do to ensure that our people have that development, dividend of democracy, will do that.
The state government is to provide landed property for the takeoff of the project. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, has asked Muslims to look out for the new moon of Muharram 1445 AH on Monday 17th of July 2023, which is equivalent to the 29th of Dhul Hijjah 1444 AH. A statement by Yahya Muhammad Boy, Secretary Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council Sokoto, says the sighting should be reported to the nearest district or village head for onward communication to the Sultan of Sokoto. The sighting of the new moon of Muharram will mark the end of the Islamic lunar calendar 1444 and the beginning of the new year 1445 after Hijrah. Talking security, the General Officer Commanding 82 Division Major General Aminu Chinade says the Nigerian Army will continue to pursue its training schedules to perfect operational tactics towards countering emerging security challenges in the country. Represented by the Commandant, Amphibious Training School, Calabar, the General Officer Commanding 82 Division stated this at the just concluded 82 Division Inter-Brigade Warrant Officers and Senior Non-Commissioned Officers competition in Calabar. Archibang Basi reports.
The training competition is one of the Nigerian Army capacity building programs to enshrine professionalism as well as boost the health condition of personnel for the accomplishment of assigned mission of combating emerging security challenges in the country. Commander 13th Brigade, Brigadier General Everest Okoro, emphasized that training in the Nigerian Army is a recurrent prerequisite and the only tool which enables personnel to be equipped in their various fields in order to sharpen their efficiency in performing their roles.
It also enhances comradeship as well as physical and mental fitness required for professional efficiency and operational effectiveness.
Special guest of honor, Brigadier General Rashid Omolori, says the outing is a culmination of hard work, doggedness, discipline, and resourcefulness put in at various levels of preparation by the various contingents.
Let me remind all that we must continue to train ourselves so that we can develop the required capability in our troops to handle every challenge thrown at them by the security dynamics.
After the keenly contested competition, which lasted for 5 days, 44 Engineers Brigade came 5th, 14th Brigade Ohafia was placed 4th, 82 Division Garrison won 3rd position, 34 Artillery 2nd, while 13th Brigade Nigerian Army was announced overall winner of the 2023 82 Division Inter-Brigade competition. Also awarded were individual soldiers who distinguished themselves during the competition. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
And Team Nigerian Army has won the 2023 edition of Democracy Day President's Inter-Senior Secondary Schools Debate Championship. Olayinka Ojo reports that with this victory, they are expected to represent Nigeria at the World Debate Championship scheduled for October in Singapore.
Giving us, we are going to be successful in this debate.
I'm perfectly prepared.
After the competition at state level, 6 teams emerged for the finals of the debate championship.
Now is the time that Nigeria is right for female political leaders. So many women in the country today have been violated, both mentally and psychologically. And what have the people done about it?
And in a world that is becoming increasingly interconnected, cultural exchange and cross-cultural understanding plays a critical role in fostering harmony and appreciation among diverse communities.
We are promoting culture of dialogue.
In a harmonious relationship and to ensure that your skills in debating and public speaking is developed.
After using the qualities of assertion and persuasion to convince the panel of adjudicators, Team Nigerian Army defeated Team Anambra, who were winners of last year's edition.
We should be confident in ourselves. We should learn how to read, learn, do more research when we are debating.
We put a lot of efforts into trying to represent the Nigerian police, and thank God we came third position, and I also came out as the best speaker.
For stakeholders, the promotion of dialogue enhances cultural awareness, promotes tolerance and acceptance.
We need to re-engage Nigerians about what makes us one people. The values is not about winning. The value is about participating and giving of your best.
It's gratifying to note that the overall objective of the program to promote peace, unity, and understanding among our youth from all parts of the country has been achieved.
For us to be here and compete shows that you have been working very, very hard. Your education should not stop at the secondary school level.
The President's School Debate started 23 years ago. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
And for more reports on Nationwide, let's head to Lagos, where Michael is standing by. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Elizabeth. To tackle the rise of glaucoma eye disease in Nigeria, a patient-centered system has to be devised, which will include adoption of technology-driven innovations of screening with collaboration of all stakeholders. This was the solution suggested for glaucoma care that is the cause of most blindness in the country. Larry Bilei has details.
The dearth of ophthalmologists in Nigeria and the growing number of persons with glaucoma eye disease present a challenge that needs urgent attention. This is the reason ophthalmologists decides to create not just awareness on the eye disease, but fashion out ways of giving diagnosis and care amidst reducing eye experts. Unraveling glaucoma, ophthalmologists describe it as a group of eye condition that damaged the nerve that transmits electrical impulses from the eyes to the brain, called the optic nerve, which is the nerve responsible for sight. What causes glaucoma is not known and hasn't any cure yet, but researchers confirmed it often goes along with old age. Glaucoma is prevalent mostly among Africans. It is one of the major causes of blindness.
The larger percentage of patients who have glaucoma in Nigeria
90% of them, they have lost useful vision before they present. So we have issue of late presentation. And there's also the issue of access. A lot of people do not even know where to go. A lot of people do not even know what glaucoma is. So it's important for us to know about glaucoma, check our eyes, make sure you are seeing the right person, the ophthalmologist or the optometrist, who will explain to you what the disease is.
Currently, we are designing a program to take care of non-ophthalmologists to increase skill amongst the non-doctors, even at the primary healthcare level, the community extension workers, so that they can easily pick little things and refer appropriately.
Ophthalmologists prefer other ways in tackling the challenge of glaucoma in the country, which includes improving access to healthcare, increasing number of trained healthcare personnel in the country, and increased investment in the health sector, right at the primary healthcare centers. In Lagos, Larry Bileyi, NTA News.
To complement efforts at easing traffic flow along Eko Bridge corridor, the Lagos State government is presently undertaking a 24-hour repairs on that axis. The repairs carried out by the Lagos State Public Works Corporation is a follow-up to the reopening of the Akpogmo section of the bridge last week. Joe Popola reports that the palliative work is being intensified to meet the time frame.
The palliative work is in response to a series of complaints by motorists who bear the brunt of the bad state of some sections of Eko Bridge. These repairs, approved by the Federal Ministry of Works for the Lagos State government, is a temporary measure before the full-scale repairs will be carried out by the federal government. Embarking on the construction on a weekend seems understandable, and in realization of this, heavy equipment and other materials to hasten the process, as well as adequate personnel, were mobilized to ensure speedy completion ahead of a busy Monday morning. General Manager Public Works Department Engineer Latif Shomide says the palliative works will address discomfort of motorists.
Immediately after Akungbo Bridge, when you are ascending this other bridge to Marina, you say that we have a grade of undulation there. But what we want to do is to see that vehicles, when vehicle gets there, they move seamlessly without any problem.
Commuters describe the repairs as timely in view of the economic importance of the road.
We aid the movement of vehicles around this axis, and it will reduce the regular gridlock that has always been witnessed there.
When you're coming from Costain, there are some bumps. I don't know if it's bumps or big holes. You can try to attend to those places too, not only here, because those bumps can cause serious accidents.
The fixing of the bad portions on the bridge is expected to further open the axis and ensure each free vehicular movements. In Lagos, Joel Okwola, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and when we return, Nationwide continues from our Ibadan Network Center, where Charity is standing by. Please stay.
Subsidy can no longer justify its ever increasing cost and the wake of dry resources. We shall instead rechannel to fund into better investment in public infrastructure, education, healthcare, and jobs that will materially improve the lives of our people.
It's up. It's life. Once you lose hope, you lose life. Once people get lifted to a certain level, they start feeling godlike.
What would you attribute this backwardness in education to in the North to date?
I feel balai.
What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong.
The program is Reflections.
join hands to work hard so that we build a country for our grandchildren.
My hope is that we develop this nation where every citizen is given his due right. There is transparency, honesty, and integrity.
Put the interests of this country first and foremost. Interest of Nigeria is being one nation, one people.
The need, if I mean, to put things right, things that have gone wrong before, to try and put right, for this, for the love of country.
This is Ibadan Network Center. Legal practitioners, especially the new entrants in the profession across country, have been admonished to be upright, cautious, and protect the ethics of the profession in the discharge of their duties. The Chief Judge of Ogun State, Justice Mosumola Dikpeolu, gave this charge while speaking with members of the bar and bench at the annual lecture of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ijebu-Ode branch. Anthony Ganduni reports.
Speaking on the theme, growing your practice and proper billing for legal services, the guest lecturer, Chukwuka Ikwazom, attributed poverty and the poor legal education system to underbilling of clients by practitioners.
We're discussing tips on how you can grow your practice. Partnerships are the future of law practice, in my view.
Ogun State Chief Judge Justice Mosumola Dikpeolu represented, and the NBA Ijebu-Ode branch chairman Stella Ejenama Ogbona described the discussion as apt, with a call on participants to consider integrity and proper billing in improving their legal practices.
I beseech you therefore that as you grow your practice, grow a good name. Be accountable to your clients and the profession. Be respectful to the court and colleagues alike.
It has awakened our consciousness as lawyers to know that in the services we give, we need to have something that will measure up to what we give.
Some participants spoke on the importance of the lecture.
The ethics is that we should not overcharge and we should not undercharge.
Law practice is a business, and when you are in business not because you want to run charitable enterprises. You are in business to make profits.
The event also marked the 25th anniversary of Ijebu-Ode branch of the NBA. Anthony Gandonu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has continued to train and empower youth across the country as participants at the 2021 nationwide vocational skills training were equipped with starter packs towards self-reliance. Rofia Animation Badness was at the distribution of the starter packs in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital.
There are over 600 unemployed youths selected from the 6 geopolitical zones in the country were trained on various vocational skills, including tailoring, catering, hairdressing, phone repair, CCTV camera and satellite dish installation, among others.
I trained in fashion and garment, and I'm so happy, let me just put it like that, and I really appreciate what federal government did for us.
We want the government to keep doing it more for other people.
Representative of Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment and others said a major mandate of the skills development and certification is to generate employment, adding that the starter pack is to enhance their business and provide income.
We are now giving them these startup packs to be able to use it to generate their own wealth, to maintain their family, and to start training others.
Entirely new, but we are upping the ante and doing more to attend to the growing needs for employment generation in Nigeria.
There are various trades like tailoring and hairdressing, industrial machines are presented, decks and different kind of equipment needed for the tailoring session.
We should endeavor to build something strong on it so that the lives of our people, the unemployed, people in poverty, can be changed for the better.
And that's our contribution from here. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Charity. The Osun State Police Command has once again reiterated its commitment at ensuring that it rids the state of all criminally minded individuals. The Osun State Police Public Relations Officer, Superintendent Opalolayemisi Olawin, re-emphasized this while parading some suspects engaged in several criminal activities in the state. Annie Daniels has details.
This Toyota Mozo Camry 2009 model and Toyota Corolla 2012 model, alongside other valuables, were declared missing by the owner in Osun State. Intelligence gathering by personnel of the command led the detectives to Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, where the robbers were arrested and the vehicles recovered. It was also discovered that the original chassis number of the vehicles had been changed.
Some people, because they are looking for cheaper things, they know the worth of a vehicle or a product or whatever or something. They know the worth of that thing. But because this one, they brought it and they said pay little money, they are quick to accept. They wouldn't know the source of that thing. It may be stolen. And when it is stolen and they buy such things, both them that bought it and the people that sold to them, but they are both liable.
Another armed robbery gang suspected to be terrorizing motorists along the Aba-Ede junction of Osu-Ile-Ife highway were also arrested after an intense gun battle with some policemen in that axis. One of the suspects was arrested with 2 bags containing several arms and ammunition, clothes, electronic gadgets, and footwears.
I tell them, say this is not my own job. I rejected the job that night. So when I lie down somewhere, let them finish. Then say if I doesn't follow them, carry the goods, then will shoot me. So I follow them, carry the goods. Leach house.
The Osun State Police image maker, Superintendent Opalolayemisi Olawoyi, warns members of the public against purchasing items without adequate knowledge of the original owner. In Osogbo, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule is tasking leaders in the north-central geopolitical zone of the country to complement efforts of the government by drawing up plans and measures that will restore peace and foster economic prosperity in the region. This was when the governor received some eminent elders of the zone under the aegis of North Central People's Forum in Lafia. Aliu Tijani reports.
On the delegation of the North Central People's Forum are former Minister of FCT Lieutenant General Jeremiah Hussaini, who is the Chairman Board of Trustees of the Forum, former Chairman of Arewa Consultative Forum Audu Ogbi, among others. The persistent security challenges in the North Central Zone, which is affecting economic development of the zone, is one of concern to the elders, and their meeting with Governor Abdullahi Sule, who is the chairman of North Central Governors Forum, is to find ways of ending insecurity in the zone, considered as a strategic zone to the unity of the country. The forum says the peace of North Central Zone will stabilize the country for sustainable growth and development. The forum pledges to work with governors in the zone and other interest groups to end communal attacks, banditry, kidnapping and other crimes in the zone.
We wish to join other well-meaning citizens of Nigeria to officially congratulate you on the emergence as chairman of North Central Governors Forum.
Because we believe in our country, but it's time to fight for economic greatness now. It's time to change gear.
Governor Abdullahi Sule says leaders in the North Central Zone must unite for the region to harness its economic potential and create wealth for its people.
The governors of today are sharing the same views with you. We believe in Nigeria, but we also want to grow the economy of the North Central. We want to make the North Central relevant.
He commends elders of the zone for coming together under the umbrella of North Central's People's Forum, stressing that the forum can be a think tank that will initiate ideas and suggestions on how to move the zone forward. Elafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
And it's time to join Jenny in our Port Harcourt Network Center for some reports. Jenny, nice to see you.
Elizabeth, the recent focus of both state and federal government on taxation as a viable source of revenue after significant decline in oil, experts say is a step in the right direction as it improves revenue generation and actualization of government programs. Ijomo Gweke got insight on ways of addressing issues arising from taxation and its benefits.
Every year, agencies responsible for the collection of tax meet to strategize on ways of improving revenue generation for sustainable development. With the signing of the Finance Act 2023, which is the fourth in the series, emphasis are placed on capital gain tax and company income tax to improve foreign investment, fund government expenditure, and infrastructure development. Issues arising from double taxation, equitable distribution of resources, and tax evasion, experts say require a holistic approach to enable government meet up with the 2023 target of 12 trillion naira expected from tax remittance. Professor Robinson Olulu is an economist with the University of Port Harcourt.
This regime is driving at is to rake in as much as possible the foreign direct investment so that more will come in and they will pay more tax. And that's why they remove subsidy. If we go to import exports, that's where a lot of people dodge tax. Now, something will bring goods into Nigeria and declare less of what they bring in. One, tax should be equitable, tax should be made such that the individual paying tax can pay.
Despite government efforts in its tax reforms, the knowledge of taxation and its benefits are still limited. This, some say, is responsible for the negative attitude to payment of tax.
I don't know what in the tax, so we know they pay tax. Yes, maybe when the market people come, they give them small things so they go take them maintain the market.
Almost 23 years here now. So all this levy since then up till now, I'm paying. So environmental will bring their own. Get the one welcome joy, then fire service. Health, local government, state, the other ones. So I don't know all this thing whether it's going to normal channel or emergency.
The citizens are calling for more awareness and the use of technology in order to achieve the objectives of taxation. In Port Harcourt, Ijomo Gweke, NTA News.
Hawking on Nigeria highways has become a common sight on major roads despite effort by government at all levels to combat the menace. What could be responsible for this practice as well as its implication to the society? Chidiebere Onya brings us answers.
Street hawking entails carrying and displaying of goods and services on the streets to solicit patronage from prospective buyers. While both government and residents are worried about this trend, those in the business give reasons why they must remain on the streets.
I decided to go into hawking because I've tried all available means. I even have spent my hard-earned money. That's for me to in an employment, to be employed, but to no avail.
So I want to make myself good.
Also of concern is the growing number of child hawkers who at very early stages of their lives are forced to sell items like sachet water, food, drinks, household items, among other things. What is most worrisome about this is that these child hawkers are oblivious of the dangers of trading on major highways.
Need people to know that there is a difference between child work and child labor. If you have a child who is engaged in child work, that is good because the child needs to be socialized to be able to function in the society. But if you have a child who is engaged in child labor, that child needs to be withdrawn from child labor.
A more disturbing implication of this ugly trend is the issue of some of these hawkers who disguise to be trading on the streets but have ulterior motive of robbing unsuspecting motorists and other road users.
There is no developed country where traders are selling on the road. So the government knows very good reason. They have a very good reason for asking traders to stay off the road. It's for their own safety.
As government intensifies efforts towards nipping this in the bud, observers are of the view that curbing street trading requires political will to address the underlying challenges. In Port Harcourt, Chidiebere Onya, NTA News.
And that's it from Port Harcourt. Nationwide will continue in Abuja after this break.
You have to move from the point where you protect and defend your religion to a point where you also recognize the rights of the other person, of the other religion, and protect it. So if I am protecting my own territory and my own people and trying to emphasize their rights and protect their rights, I should also be thinking about how to protect the rights of the others.
Both Islam and Christianity recognize and defer to God, and both recognize the temporariness of the life of this world, and that ultimately we all go back to God for the day of reckoning, when everybody will render an account of his life on this temporary abode.
We are Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. We are political parties. We are the pathway to political power. IPAC, in line with its core mandate, is carrying out peer review mechanism for elected political office holders. Performance of the President of Nigeria, state governors, state and National Assembly members will be assessed comparatively. This will trigger healthy competition amongst our elected politicians to deliver dividends of democracy like good roads, good healthcare delivery system, good schools, full employment, security, and so on. This prestigious program will soon be shown live on television stations across Nigeria. IPAC, deepening and consolidating democracy.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Today, faith and destiny join together to place the touch of human progress in our very hands. We dare not let it slip. We lift high this touch so that it might shine on every household and in every heart that calls itself Nigeria. We hold the beam aloft because it lights our path with compassion, brotherhood, and peace. May this great light never extinguish.
You're still watching Nationwide. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has continued to explore more possibilities of evolving strategies towards mitigating the envisaged 2023 flood devastation in Nigeria. This time around, the agency is engaging media practitioners in a task of informing the public in order to promote community resilience to mitigate the effect of the menace. Correspondent Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that participants were drawn from the print, broadcast and social media.
11 years after the 2012 floods that severely devastated the entire country, the 2022 devastation also overwhelmingly brought the entire country to a standstill with increased number of casualties, destruction of property and displacement of people. Another round of more devastation is likely to occur based on the 2023 seasonal climate predictions released by NAMED and flood outlook by NISA. Following this scenario, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, brought together media executives and gave them a clear message of mainstreaming the UN Sendai framework, which emphasizes disaster risk reduction management before it occurs. Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, said the media is a strategic partner in creating awareness on all the strategic responses of NEMA in communities that are prone to the perennial flooding in the country. He emphasized the importance of accurate, timely and responsible reporting, raising awareness and promoting effective disaster management strategies in disaster reportage.
By including media practitioners from various outlets, print, broadcast, and online, we aim to foster collaboration and cross-sectoral cooperation. This inclusive approach will provide a holistic understanding of disaster reporting and its implication whilst encouraging network and knowledge sharing.
Some of the participants speak.
If this thing happens every year, what roles have the state governments played to mitigate this disaster, to prevent it? I think prevention, they say, is better than cure.
If we sensitize Nigerians as journalists that there is need for them to evacuate their drainages, if we hold government accountable, I think this is the hallmark of this workshop.
This media executive training is one out of the many series of engagements lined up by NEMA to proactively minimize the likely devastating effect of the 2023 flooding. From Lagos, I'm Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
And the Great Green Wall by 2030 aims to restore 100 million hectares of degraded land, isolate 250 million tons of carbon, and create 10 million jobs in rural areas. Adebola Brixton Sunday reports that Nigeria, for the first time since the establishment of a national agency, celebrated Great Green Day with the planting of trees at the presidential villa.
Land degradation continues to threaten the livelihoods of millions of people in the drylands of Africa. How to mitigate this effect of climate change resulted in the creation of the African-led movement's Great Green Wall. It is geared towards growing an 8,000-kilometer natural wonder of the world across the entire width of the continent. Established in 2015, the National Agency for the Great Green Wall has been transforming Nigerian drylands through afforestation, reforestation, provision of alternative sources of cooking and energy use.
And so the impact of emerging climate change cuts across, whether you're in Borno, Sokoto, or Rivers or Bayelsa. It has one way, the climate change and its effect.
The department is also helping the states to establish forest plantations as well as maintain them and provide provision of alternative livelihood to communities.
The tree serves as a sink, carbon sink. We also see the tree serving as protecting an area like a windshield, preventing that kind of effect of harsh effects of the climate in an area.
In terms of land degradation, drought,
Abdul Hamid Tahir Hamid is the president, African Union Youth Commission for Great Green Wall Youth Advisory Board. He told me they have been supporting the agency in the frontline states of Borno, Yobe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, Bauchi, Gombe, and Adamawa.
The Youth Volunteer Program, which was established just recent by the National Agency for Great Green Wall, which with intending to involve 11,000 young people from the 11 frontline states.
Trees were planted at the banquet hall lawn of the presidential villa to commemorate the day. This symbolic tree planting to encourage Nigerians to embrace afforestation was replicated by state governors and top government functionaries in the 11 frontline states. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Our next stop is Sokoto, where Asmao is standing by. Hello, Asmao.
Beth, good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. Sequel to the surprise midnight visit by Governor Ahmad Aliyu Sokoto to the Specialist Hospital Sokoto and the myriad of challenges that he met, which include lack of electricity in the hospital, a brand new generator has been procured by the governor. Chief of Staff, Government House, Aminu Haliruduku, who handed over the new plant to the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, said Governor Ahmad Aliyu is committed to fulfilling all the promises he made to the hospital. Zainab Saidu Abdul Nasir has more.
Some weeks ago, Governor Ahmed Aliyu used a tricycle to pay an unscheduled midnight visit to the state-owned biggest hospital, the Specialist Hospital, Sokoto, where he found unpleasant scenarios and expressed his displeasure over the challenges he discovered. He promised to take immediate action to address the problems of the hospital that include lack of power supply that emanated from non-payment of cash allocation to the hospital for about 9 months. Presenting the keys of the new generator to the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Bello Umar Tambuwal, Chief of Staff, Government House, Aminu Haliruduku, said since Governor Ahmed Aliyu visited the hospital and discovered the disheartening condition of the facility, he promised to see that the hospital is moved to an enviable position that a health facility of its kind should be.
Ensure that day and night there's a power supply in this hospital for the effective services.
Receiving the keys of the brand new generator, the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Bello Umar Tambuwal, expressed gratitude to the governor for the kind gesture and promised to utilize the plant effectively. Dr. Tambuwal further said apart from paying the monthly cash allocation that hitherto disrupted the hospital's activities, the governor promised several other incentives to the hospital and that this gesture is a clear indication that Dr. Ahmed Aliyu is going to deliver on all his pledges.
We already received our first cash allocation in Specialist Hospital. Yes, and inshallah it will continue on monthly basis.
In Sokoto, Zainab Saidu Abdul Nasir, NTA News.
Governor Ahmed Aliyu Sokoto has called on people of Sokoto State to desist from rampant felling of trees and imbibe in the culture of tree planting to fight desertification. The governor, who was represented by Secretary to the State Government, Muhammad Bello Sifawa, was speaking at a tree planting demonstration organized by the National Agency for the Great Green Wall at Government House, Sokoto. Elhat Abdullahi has more.
This is Secretary to the State Government planting a tree in a new technique introduced by the National Agency for the Great Green Wall. The occasion was organized to mark the Great Green Wall Day by demonstrating a new irrigation technique for tree planting in semi-arid landscape by National Agency for Great Green Wall. Governor Ahmed Aliyu, who was represented by Secretary to the State Government, Muhammad Bello Sifawa, said the state government is ready to collaborate with partners in the environment sector at both state and federal levels in the fight against desertification and climate change in the state.
The government of Sokoto State will work in collaboration with agencies, in particular the Great Green Wall Agency, to ensure full implementation of this technique in the state.
Permanent Secretary Ministry of Environment, Sokoto State, Dr. Qasim Muhammad Yabo said Sokoto State Government, in collaboration with other environment-friendly agencies, have been taking measures to fight desertification, drought, flood, and erosion that are related to rampant felling of trees.
We are aware that it's not the issue of planting trees, but the issue of maintaining the trees up to maturity is a very challenging issue, particularly here, semi-arid regions.
Representative of the National Agency for the Great Green Wall, Abuja, Isa Abubakar Sadiq, said the new technique of tree planting is a water-saving technology that makes a planted tree to require only one watering in 6 months.
We have a Great Green Wall program which we started in 2013. We have been present in Sokoto for over these years. We have planted over 205 kilometers of shelter belt across the states.
The agency's governing body decided to set aside second week of July every year to commemorate the Great Green Wall. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's our package from Sokoto. It's back to Elizabeth in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Talking health, a UNICEF data on women and children show that Nigeria's 40 million women of childbearing age between 15 and 49 years of age suffer high level of health issues surrounding birth. At a forum on maternal mortality, experts highlighted rising spate of Rex's isoimmunization, delay in hospitals, lack of specialists, and high cost of anti-immunoglobulin as some of the factors increasing maternal and child deaths.
Health personnel should increase publicity and advocacy about Rex's isoimmunization and the associated potential complications for women of reproductive age and their babies. The government should ensure appropriate staffing and maintenance of health personnel at all levels of healthcare delivery. Government and private sector, through their corporate social responsibilities, are encouraged to support the training and retraining of researchers in the conduct of implementation science research.
Further recommend strategic synergy with research institutions in the translation of findings into clinical practices to aid mother and child health, appealing to the federal government to establish health centers in all the geopolitical zones to aid effective referrals. Let's now talk sports with Badi Adele.
Team Nigeria's Scrabble players and officials have arrived to the United States of America for the 2023 World